a technology standpoint. There's so many tools, and some are great and some are not. And Gannon hears me complain about this a lot, is, you know, there's really not a one size fits all. There's so many. So can you give our listeners, in the amount of time we have here left, what is the best way to really get started? What is the most effective way for someone to create an online presence and build that credibility with an audience out there? And I will stop talking now.
Great questions, Clay.
I was building that up as you guys are having your conversation.
You know, I'll tell you something. I have one of my if I had a fault, which I don't, it would be my modesty. That's what my father likes to say. But no, one of my biggest faults is verbosity. So don't worry about it. I'm more than happy to hear what you have to say.
And Dr. Gower, we may end up having to ask you on again, because there's just so much ground to cover here. We can go down so many different rabbit holes on all this stuff. You're a wealth of information. Those are great questions, Clay. And if we don't get everything covered today, we may circle back around with you and ask you to come on again.
That's very kind of you. Do you want me to hit these three questions, or this question that Clay was asking? All right, so I'm going to run through them quickly because we don't have much time. First of all, you talked about an online presence. If people can't find you online, this is what Brent Higglesey told me this is his thesis during my podcast with him from CrowdStreet. He's their CMO at CrowdStreet. He said, if you don't have a presence online, you don't exist. Simple as that. So if somebody hears about you, go to all this effort, even if somebody makes an introduction for you, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look you up on LinkedIn. They're going to look at your website. They want to know you. If there's nothing there, good chance they will pass you by. If you have a good presence online, it helps move them through that relationship journey all the more. That's why you need a presence online. Secondly, actually, this is what I was going to say. I was looking around while you were talking. I hope it wasn't a distraction. I was going to share this with you. I can't even see me now, actually. I'm going to try to do this quickly. You remember we used to use these? I'm showing off a bit because here's one of mine from Japan. It's all in Japanese, but that's one of mine from Japan. I was trying to find my Universal Studios one yesterday. I've got it buried somewhere. I'm trying to dig it up. It used to be that you had to have a business card to kind of, you know, to exchange. You had to have a business card. Then you had to have a website instead of a business card. Now you have to have a presence online. That does not just mean a website with a pretty picture and nothing else on it, all right? So that's the evolution. That's why having a digital presence is online. What is the most important thing? Another one of your questions. Clay, what are people looking for? In one word, they are looking for authenticity. You are an expert in what you do. Just be authentic about that. I had a client approach me a few months ago that said, it comes from a very humble background, and said, I want to have a private, I want everyone to think, I want the image I want you to portray is private equity, like a downtown New York skyrise private equity shop. And I said, look, yeah, I could create that for you if you want that image, right? The whole look and everything of everything. I said, but I'm not prepared to do it. And if you want me to, if that's what you insist, I'm not taking you on as a client. Because at the end of the day, it's not real. It's not authentic. It's like living your life in a movie, trying to act out your life instead of being who you really are. And it's authenticity. And actually, he's an incredibly impressive guy, right? This fellow, just because when you talk to him about his philosophy to investing, frankly, I think it's more compelling than private equity. So we just dug deep into his real, true self. That's what you want to bring out. That's what investors will invest in. If you've got any weak points of your background, address those first and acknowledge them and articulate how it is that you are compensating for them, right? If you've not got background in this area, that we hired these people and these experts to compensate for that. And the last thing was how to get started. So you guys, the best way to get started, you have to start with content production. You build out your social media, right? That's a good place to start. LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook are key. YouTube as well, if you can. And then start putting high value content through that. And how do you do that? And this is something we didn't talk about, content compounding. You take an interview like this or a podcast like this, and you could create 20 pieces of content from this. You could create articles, you could create short videos, you can create little quotes that end up as thumbnails, and you rotate those through your social media on autopilot. And if you're doing one of these, I don't know how often you're doing it, one a week, then in 10 weeks, you've got 200 pieces of content that are all circulating, all pointing back to your website, to a landing page. That's how you get started.
Really
that's phenomenal. And just so our listeners know, part of what you offer are services that help capital raisers to take on that task for them as a service.
Correct. That's right. Yes. So we build out these systems for clients, for private clients. So we do soup to nuts. You go away, go to the beach, and we'll take care of it for you. Not that you can go to the beach these days. And then we also actually have, so the entire system actually that we build for clients, for private clients, has been committed to a digital course, of course, because we're in the digital marketing era.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is in digital format. And if you want to build one of these out yourself, then you can buy that course, and it really handholds you through the entire process from beginning to end. You can build out a content marketing platform. It's a lot of work. I don't want you to think that you set this thing up and money starts flooding in through the ceiling. It doesn't work like that. It requires commitment. You got to have deal flow, and you got to put the work in. But the nice thing about content marketing is that when as soon as you produce your content, it becomes an asset. It doesn't go away. It's not time wasted. It's productive. It's like building a house that people come to. Once it's there, it's always there, and it's always working for you. So it's definitely worth doing.